Imagine, for a moment, that your bones are slowly starting to weaken, becoming so fragile that even a simple everyday movement can cause a fracture, a stumble, a bad bending, or even a slight pressure, and you find yourself facing unbearable pain. Osteoporosis is a silent disease that acts insidiously, affecting millions of people around the world without them realizing it until it is too late. As bones lose their density and strength, the risk of fractures increases dramatically, and the impact on quality of life can be devastating. This condition, which is often associated with aging, can actually affect anyone, although it is more prevalent in postmenopausal women and older men. The problem is that osteoporosis does not present any visible symptoms until a fracture occurs. In many cases, people do not even know that their bones are compromised until they fall or have an accident, and pain is not the only problem. Osteoporosis can significantly reduce mobility, making daily activities more difficult and limited, and seriously affecting quality of life. For years, osteoporosis has been considered an irreversible condition, something that doctors simply try to control without offering a definitive solution. For many, the very idea of treating osteoporosis is focused on preventing more fractures rather than restoring bone health. What if we told you that this may be about to change? What we now know about reversing this disease could defy expectations and opened up a new horizon in the treatment of bone problems. The key to changing this perception lies in the latest research, scientific innovations, and medical advances that are enabling a new approach to osteoporosis. But before we delve into that, it's crucial to understand how osteoporosis affects bones, who is most likely to develop it, and what's happening inside the body of a person with the condition. After all, how can something so silent have such an impact? Throughout this content, we will explore how osteoporosis develops, who is most vulnerable, and, most importantly, what treatment options are being investigated to transform the lives of those who suffer from this condition. The truth you will discover could change everything you knew about osteoporosis and the future of those affected by it. But to do so, it is necessary to understand the fundamentals of this disease and how it affects the human body. When it comes to osteoporosis, many people still have a distorted view of the disease. The idea that only the elderly are affected, or that there is nothing that can be done once diagnosed, is a myth that persists to this day. These misconceptions prevent many people from seeking help and taking preventive measures or appropriate treatments to control the disease. It is therefore crucial to demystify these ideas and clarify the truth behind osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is not just a disease of old age. While it is true that the risk of developing the condition increases with age, it can affect anyone, regardless of age. There are risk factors that can make a person more susceptible to osteoporosis, such as genetics, lack of exercise, a diet low in calcium and vitamin D, and even prolonged use of medications, such as corticosteroids. In other words, young people, and even those who do not have obvious symptoms, can be affected by the disease without knowing it. Ignoring this is a serious mistake that can lead to future complications. Another common myth is that osteoporosis is an incurable condition, something we simply have to learn to live with. This idea is deeply ingrained in popular knowledge, but science has shown otherwise. Although osteoporosis causes permanent damage to bones over time, the truth is that there are treatments that can stop its progression and, in some cases, even reverse the damage it causes. Scientific research is increasingly advanced, and treatment options are changing. What once seemed like a definitive sentence is now seen in a new light. The possibility of improving bone health and, in fact, reversing some of the most devastating effects of osteoporosis. Furthermore, many people believe that osteoporosis is simply a matter of bone weakness. However, the disease is more complex than that. Osteoporosis occurs when the rate of bone resorption exceeds bone formation, causing bones to become progressively thinner and more fragile. This imbalance is influenced by several factors, such as age, lack of essential hormones such as estrogen in postmenopausal women, lack of exercise, and poor diet. Therefore, osteoporosis is a multifactorial condition that requires a comprehensive approach to treatment. It is also important to note that while osteoporosis is an invisible disease, its consequences are extremely visible. Fractures caused by osteoporosis are not only painful, but can be debilitating, leading to a cycle of physical limitations that directly impact quality of life. However, the stigma that osteoporosis has no cure leads many people to passively accept this condition without seeking alternatives that can improve their situation. Here, we will reveal that there are ways to not only control, but also reverse the damage caused by osteoporosis. By exploring medical innovations and lifestyle changes, now that we've dispelled some myths and gained a better understanding of the disease, it's time to take an important step forward. In the next section, we'll explore in detail the latest scientific findings on how osteoporosis can be reversed through innovative treatments and lifestyle changes. Get ready to discover that the truth about osteoporosis is more surprising than you might think. Osteoporosis is a disease that goes beyond physical pain. Its impact is not limited to bone fractures, but extends deeply into everyday life, affecting the self-esteem, mobility, and even independence of those who suffer from it. For many people, osteoporosis is not just a medical condition, but a reality that completely changes their routines and outlook on life. By sharing some real stories of people affected by this disease, we can better understand the magnitude of the problem. Maria, a 63-year-old woman, had always been active. She loved walking outdoors, gardening, and maintaining a light exercise routine. But after an unexpected fall while at home, her life was turned upside down. She broke her femur and was diagnosed with osteoporosis. The impact was devastating. In addition to the pain of the fracture, Maria found herself limited, unable to perform simple daily tasks. Her falls became more frequent, and each movement seemed more dangerous than the last. The fear of another fracture haunted her constantly, and her confidence was severely shaken. John, on the other hand, a 50-year-old man who was still actively working, began to experience unexplained back pain. After some tests, he was diagnosed with advanced osteoporosis, something he would never have imagined having at that age. For him, the diagnosis came as a shock. The idea of having weakened bones, vulnerable to fractures just by lifting a box or carrying a shopping bag, was terrifying. John felt as if his freedom had been taken away. He no longer felt safe in his own home, and physical activities that had previously been enjoyable began to be avoided. These stories are no exception. Many people around the world live with the constant shadow of osteoporosis, fearing an accident that could change their lives forever. The disease not only weakens bones, but also undermines people's confidence in their own abilities. The feeling of frailty that comes with osteoporosis can cause someone to shy away from activities that were once easy, such as playing sports, going for a walk, or even interacting with others in a normal way. For many, osteoporosis is not just a physical illness, but a psychological prison. The impact of osteoporosis goes beyond physical limitations. It affects the way people see themselves and how they relate to the world around them. Fractures and the constant fear of further injury can lead to depression and social isolation. The loss of mobility and independence leaves many, like Maria and Joe, living with a constant feeling of vulnerability. This is not just a health issue, but an emotional and mental struggle that can be difficult to overcome. However, it's important to note that these stories, while real and moving, don't have to be a permanent sentence. The good news is that there are treatments that can not only alleviate symptoms, but also prevent osteoporosis from progressing further. And in some cases, it's even possible to reverse the damage caused by the disease. In the following topics, we'll explore how modern medicine is offering new hope for those living with osteoporosis, transforming lives and allowing people to regain confidence in their own bodies. The stories of Maria and Joe are just one example of what many face on a daily basis, but they are also a reflection of how science is advancing to change these realities. Reversing osteoporosis, something that once seemed impossible, is now an increasingly tangible possibility. And by discovering this, many people can find hope for a healthier, more active life again. For a long time, osteoporosis was seen as a sentence of inevitable frailty, with treatments focused mainly on trying to slow the process of bone deterioration, but with little hope of reversing it. However, recent advances in medicine and science have shed new light on the disease, offering perspectives that only a few years ago seemed unthinkable. The question many are asking today is, can osteoporosis be reversed? And the answer, based on recent scientific discoveries, is increasingly promising. In recent years, researchers have been exploring innovative treatments that go beyond traditional approaches. New drugs, gene therapies, and even the use of stem cells have shown impressive potential for regenerating bone tissue and improving bone density. For example, drugs such as RANKL inhibitors, which target the cells that restore bone, have been shown to be effective in stopping bone loss and even increasing new bone formation. In addition, therapies that stimulate the activity of osteoblasts, the cells responsible for bone formation, are increasingly being used to improve bone health in people with osteoporosis. In addition to drug treatments, lifestyle changes also play a crucial role in reversing osteoporosis. Regular exercise, especially muscle strengthening and weight-bearing activities such as walking, running, and lifting weights, has shown significant results in restoring bone density. Exercise stimulates the activity of osteoblasts, helping to strengthen bones. Diets rich in calcium and vitamin D, as well as other nutrients essential for bone health, are also essential in combating osteoporosis and, in some cases, even in restoring lost bone density. Advances in stem cell-based therapies have been particularly exciting. Recent studies suggest that mesenchymal stem cells can be used to regenerate damaged bones, promoting bone regeneration and possibly reversing the damage caused by osteoporosis. These cells have the ability to transform into a variety of cell types, including osteoblasts, and are being investigated as a potential solution for rebuilding bones weakened by this disease. While there is still much work to be done to make these treatments widely available, preliminary results are very promising. It is important to note that while complete reversal of osteoporosis is an ambitious goal, currently available treatments can significantly improve the quality of life of those suffering from the disease. Many people are already experiencing significant increases in bone density, reduced fractures, and recovery of physical function, allowing them to live more active and independent lives. With the combination of innovative pharmacological treatments, regenerative therapies, and lifestyle changes, osteoporosis is no longer a disease that needs to be passively dealt with. However, reversing osteoporosis is still in the research phase and is not an instant or one-size-fits-all solution. Each case is unique, and the most effective treatments may vary depending on the stage of the disease, the patient's age, and other health factors. The good news, however, is that options are becoming more diverse and effective every year. This means that the possibility of significantly reversing or controlling osteoporosis is more real than ever. In the following topics, we will explore how science is further challenging the limitations of osteoporosis and what we can expect for the future of treatments. The quest to completely reverse osteoporosis is a journey that is only just beginning. And with each new study and discovery, the hope of a future without the limitations of the disease becomes more tangible. Now that we understand the medical innovations and advances in osteoporosis treatment, it's time to understand how reversing bone damage actually works at the biological level. For many, the idea that osteoporosis can be reversed may seem like a distant or even impossible concept. However, science is revealing a fascinating and complex process that involves cellular regeneration, rebalancing biological processes, and often even the complete reconstruction of bone structure. The process of osteoporosis involves an imbalance between bone formation and bone resorption. Our bodies are constantly forming and resorbing bone in a natural cycle known as bone remodeling. However, when osteoporosis sets in, the cells responsible for bone resorption, called osteoclasts, begin to work faster than the osteoblasts responsible for forming new bone. This results in thinner, more fragile bones, increasing the risk of fractures. Reversing this process involves first restoring the balance between these two types of cells. The key to achieving this balance lies in therapies that aim to inhibit the action of osteoclasts while stimulating osteoblasts to form new bones. This is one of the main goals of modern medications, such as bisphosphonates and estrogen receptor modulators, which help reduce bone resorption. But in addition to these treatments, new therapeutic approaches are emerging that focus on the actual regeneration of bone tissue. One of the most promising is stem cell therapy. Mesenchymal stem cells, for example, have the unique ability to transform into specialized cells, such as osteoblasts, and promote bone regeneration. These treatments have shown promising results in clinical studies, with patients experiencing increased bone density and, in some cases, even healing from bone fractures. Stem cell therapy not only works to regenerate bone, but it can also help reduce inflammation in the bones and stimulate the healing process, which makes the reversal process more effective. Additionally, gene modulation is emerging as a powerful tool in the fight against osteoporosis. Scientists are exploring ways to alter gene expression, to stimulate bone formation, or to inhibit proteins that accelerate bone resorption. Recent studies have shown that specific genes involved in bone formation can be activated through gene therapies, providing a more effective way to treat and even reverse osteoporosis. This innovative approach offers a futuristic vision of highly effective personalized treatments that could potentially cure osteoporosis. Another emerging technique is the use of 3D printing technology to create artificial bone structures that can be used to rebuild damaged bones or to help stimulate natural bone regeneration. While this method is still in its early stages, it offers an exciting future where bones damaged by osteoporosis can be repaired or even replaced with biocompatible materials, allowing patients to make a full recovery. Finally, diet also plays a key role in this reversal process. Essential nutrients such as calcium, vitamin D, and protein have a direct impact on bone health. A proper diet not only strengthens bones, but also aids in the regeneration and recovery process. Studies have shown that combining a healthy diet with medical treatments can accelerate bone strengthening and reduce the fragility associated with osteoporosis. While these treatments are still evolving, science is showing that reversing osteoporosis is not only possible, but is becoming a reality. Understanding biological processes and technological advances are laying the foundation for more effective, personalized, and eventually curative therapies. However, the real change will come when these treatments become widely available and accessible to everyone, providing a new perspective on osteoporosis and ways to combat it. Now that we understand the mechanisms of osteoporosis reversal, let's explore the future of research and how these new approaches could shape the lives of those facing this condition. What follows is the promise of a future without limitations, where osteoporosis can be overcome once and for all. As scientific discoveries and treatments continue to evolve, the future of osteoporosis looks increasingly promising. What was once an unavoidable and unsolvable condition is now being addressed with new strategies and innovations that are transforming the way we treat and prevent this debilitating disease. The question that arises is, what can we expect in the coming years in the fight against osteoporosis? The future is undoubtedly full of exciting possibilities, with science and medicine constantly evolving. In the coming years, stem cell therapies are expected to become more common and accessible. Research is currently progressing rapidly, with clinics specializing in bone regeneration using mesenchymal stem cells to rebuild bones damaged by osteoporosis. These therapies can not only heal fractures, but also restore bone density, allowing bones to become strong and resilient again. The promise of these therapies is that in the near future, bone regeneration will become a viable treatment for many people who already have advanced stages of osteoporosis. In addition to stem cell therapies, the use of genetic technology could radically change the treatment of osteoporosis. Genetic manipulation of bone cells to strengthen bones or improve their ability to regenerate is already being tested in laboratories and promises a future where osteoporosis can be treated in a personalized way, tailored to the needs of each patient. Advances in gene editing, such as CRISPR, offer a revolutionary possibility of reversing the effects of osteoporosis at the cellular level. This could mean more precise and effective treatment, with fewer side effects and faster results. Digital medicine also promises to play an increasing role in osteoporosis treatment. Remote monitoring tools, such as wearable devices that track bone density and movement patterns, could be used to adjust treatment in real time. This would allow doctors to have a clearer view of a patient's progress and adjust treatment as needed, creating more personalized and efficient care plans. Artificial intelligence (AI) could also be used to predict osteoporosis risk before symptoms even appear, enabling earlier detection and more effective interventions. Another crucial aspect of the future of osteoporosis is education and awareness. As more people become aware of advances in osteoporosis treatment and prevention, there will be an increase in early diagnosis. This will allow more people to take preventative measures before the disease sets in, preventing bone loss and associated fractures. Awareness programs, combined with education campaigns on healthy lifestyle habits, are essential to drive meaningful changes in the way society deals with osteoporosis. Ultimately, personalizing treatments will be key to the future of osteoporosis. With the advancement of personalized medicine, treatments will be able to be tailored to each patient's genetic profile and individual risk factors. This will mean that in the future, patients will be able to receive treatments tailored to their needs, resulting in greater efficacy and fewer side effects. The combination of innovative therapies, new scientific discoveries, and greater understanding of the disease will undoubtedly redefine osteoporosis treatment in the coming decades. In short, the future of osteoporosis is full of possibilities that not long ago seemed impossible. What was once seen as a chronic condition with no cure is now becoming a disease that can be effectively treated, reversed, and even prevented. Thanks to advances in medicine, the future for those facing osteoporosis will undoubtedly be healthier, more active, and full of hope. The journey to reversing osteoporosis is just beginning, and what lies ahead could radically change the lives of millions of people around the world.